So that's very important. You know, obviously the money's important. We live in the Bay, it's hella expensive out here, right? But money don't necessarily make you happy. It's about whether it fulfills you with what you want to do. So yeah, I mean, a lot of what you said, you make it sound so easy. Because you went to the military, but talk about how you learned about programming, how you got involved in that, and then also too, I want to talk a little bit more about blockchain. We don't have to get too technical, but yeah. So number one, tell us how you got involved in programming and joined the Army and stuff.
Okay. So something that I think is hella interesting that I'm just noticing from like all my friends who like broke themselves into tech, whether they were self-taught or they like sought out instruction outside of technical means. It's all because they were introduced to it in something that was like really, really personally important, but also like culturally important, right? So I have a friend, my homeboy T, who's an electrical engineer, and he got into it because he like wanted to learn how to like make his car speakers the best out there without like buying hella expensive equipment. And that's how it was like all about like having the biggest bump in his trunk, right? Yeah. And like for me, with coding, it started in the era like 7 years ago on a website called MySpace. That's how I feel right now. Tech changes so fast. So like, I was on MySpace, and you know, you can't be in high school and not have like the flyest MySpace. Like you just had to do it. And so I started learning like HTML on that when I was like 13. And then my youth, I had some issues. I ended up in a little bit of trouble. And someone at my church, he gave me a book, and he was like, "Look, you're smarter than this, but I got a money proposition for you." He gave me this book, and it was like PHP, beginning PHP or some shit, and PHP for beginners, something like that. And he was like, "I want you to read this book end to end." And it was like 280 something pages. And he's like, "I want you to do everything in this book, and you'll never end up where you are again." And he said, "And if I'm wrong, I'll give you $1,000. Hell yeah! So I got bribed into it by somebody who cared about me more than I was able to see for myself. Blessings to him. And from there, it just kind of became like a side hustle. Like I didn't take it seriously for a lot of like so I just didn't take it seriously for a lot of the first years that I was doing it. I was kind of just coding for the fuck of it. Like, okay, I need to make $200. I'm gonna just like go make somebody a website, make $200 off of them. It was like a hustle, not like a thing I was doing. I actually dropped out of high school and then got a GED, which was woo, I got my GED, right? My graduation was lit though. I got my GED, and then I went to community college and started studying English literature because I was like, I'm gonna be a lawyer. And then I like went and sat in a courtroom and was like, hell no! And I like changed my major out the next day, away from like, I think I was doing like sociology at first. I like to write, so I was doing English literature, but I always was coding. So one day, there's a spot in Oakland called The Leash, and like years ago they used to do this thing called Afro-Rican Night. So me, I'm like black and Cuban, right? So I'm like, that's close enough. It's like, you know, like a typo, I'll be there. And so I used to go to this thing because they just had all the like Afro-Latino food that was just like popping, and they used to serve like coquito and hell, like it was lit. Oh, it's like eggnog, but with alcohol in it, and it's not eggnog, it's better. It's like alcoholic eggnog the way you want it to taste. It's amazing. Okay, so basically I went to this place in Oakland called The Leash in this Afro-Rican night, and one of my buddies was a poet, and he had an idea for a website, and so I was like coding the landing page, and I was like, I'm gonna help my buddy out. He's gonna be a famous spoken word poet, and he's fucking still an amazing writer. It's amazing. So I was coding this website, and all of a sudden this like big ass dude who looked like Rick Ross comes up behind me, and he's like, "Hey, what you doing?" I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" I was like, so like I'm little now, but this was when I was like 23, and I was like 10 pounds lighter. And this dude is like Rick Ross, right? So they, you know, this right? So I'm like, yo, who the fuck are you? He's like, hey, what you doing? You code, you make websites? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, come to my office tomorrow, and like I'm gonna see if I can hire you. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so I like Showed up the next day. Sure enough, he had a marketing company that's still there today. They do like, they do like Marshawn Lynch's branding for his Oaklandish. They did a lot of like campaigns for politicians and shit. So like, he gave me a job doing websites, and at the time he was a very small startup firm, and so he paid me to do websites. And it was the first time I ever realized that I had a skill that could potentially make me money beyond just my mind or my ability to talk about things. And so he gave me hella opportunities to learn. He gave me hella opportunities to like run teams. He gave me opportunity to run point on projects. And I was just like, nah, bro, you just need someone to let you do it. And so I did. And then I got orders to Afghanistan. So I was in the Army Reserves. I was in like the National Guard. And out of nowhere, like my unit didn't go. I just got orders on like June 6th that I had to be in Afghanistan on June 30th. And so I went to Afghanistan. So yeah, that's how I started coding.
What's the follow-up
I need a
question?
podcast, shit.
Yeah.